After months of investigations into his inner circle, New York City Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted.
Adams has been charged with 5 counts of connected to alleged improper campaign contributions, and he's the first sitting New York City mayor to ever face criminal charges. And here to discuss it all is ABC News contributor Brian Buckmire, and outside the courthouse in New York, ABC senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky. Good to see you guys, and thanks for being here. So, Brian, we'll start with you. The mayor is facing a 5-count indictment. Walk us through these charges.
Yes, there's a lot. I even have to bring my little cheat sheet here. So the first one, conspiracy to receive campaign contributions from foreign nationals and to commit wire fraud and bribery. Also wire fraud, 2 counts of soliciting campaign contributions from a foreign national, and then the last one being soliciting or accepting a bribe. It's basically a fancy way of saying that he created this scheme, allegedly, that he would get money through donations, what they're calling straw donations. So, for example, I say DeMarco is paying for Eva's campaign as she's running for an election, but you don't actually pay, I pay for it. And then the city matches it, so you're getting false money there. And the wire frauds, the benefits, the flights, all the upgrades that are a part of this as well. And what the government is saying is a scheme to defraud both the city as well as to gain power from a foreign country.
Aaron, I'm curious, has Adams responded to these charges?
He's been entirely defiant. Even before the charges were unsealed, he called them entirely false. He proclaimed his innocence. And when he went into court just a short while ago here, Eva, he became the first sitting mayor of New York to set foot in a courtroom as a criminal defendant. So even though publicly he's defiant, this is a moniker he does not want. He has resisted multiple calls for his resignation, and he insists he is going to fight this because his attorney says this is a made-up narrative by federal prosecutors just so they could tell a tale of corruption, and it's quite a tale.
And Brian, following Adams' indictment, federal agents searched the mayor's residence, Gracie Mansion, and also seized his phone. So what does this tell us about this investigation?
So when it comes to seizing a phone or seizing any kind of property, what it tells me is that law enforcement and the government must have gone to a judge and said, we have probable cause to believe that on that device there's evidence of a crime. And looking through this 57-page indictment, it looks like the crime might be in the details here, in the communications between individuals saying, for example, Adams telling his staffer to speak to someone at the Turkish consulate about how the consulate was going to be completed on schedule, even though there were some fire issues or some fire safety issues, or just the ins and outs of getting his flights to and from Turkey or other parts of the world. That's all going to potentially be documented on electronics. That's what the government's looking for to try to corroborate some of these allegations.
And Aaron, there have been some calls for the mayor to step down. He's going to be up for re-election next year. What does his political future look like in the midst of all of this?
It's very much in doubt. The mayor says he is going to continue to lead. He spoke about himself in the third person when he said, who's at the center of everything in this city? Eric Adams. But many, many Democrats, including Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and others around the city, are calling for his resignation, questioning whether a mayor under the cloud of a federal indictment can effectively lead. He says he's not going anywhere. There is a mechanism to remove him from office. Governor Kathy Hochul would have that power, but she has not yet said, Eva, whether she would exercise it.
So, Brian, if convicted, what penalties could Adams face?
So different numbers for different charges. If you think of the conspiracy charge, that's 5 years. Those 2 counts of soliciting a foreign national, each of those also have 5 years. The bribery, 10 years, but that wire fraud is the heaviest of all the charges, a potential of 20 years. If you combine them all together and a judge really wanted to hit Mayor Adams over the head with this, that's a total of 45 years in prison that he could be facing if they're run consecutively.
Aaron, what happens if the mayor decides to resign?
If he should resign, the public advocate, which is a unique political post here in New York City, would become the acting mayor, but only temporarily. There would have to be a special election almost immediately called. There are a number of the mayor's political opponents that would likely jump right into the race. And another individual we're told is interested is the former governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo. He resigned his office after a sexual harassment scandal, but now we're told is pondering whether he might want to jump into a race for mayor.
All right, Aaron Katersky in Lower Manhattan and Brian Buckmire, thanks to you both for being here. We appreciate it.